Welcome to personal profiling and branding workshop. This workshop is very, very important, and I'm actually looking forward to holding this workshop because I think it's very, very critical, especially at this time and age has become even more important. If you have career growth in mind, you have business success in mind, you definitely have networking in mind, right? Because as humans, as we progress, as we grow, we move through different phases of our lives, we meet different people, we create different impressions, and so it becomes very, very critical. The kinds of impressions we leave behind and what people around think about us and how we even present ourselves, how we market ourselves, because whether we like it or not, whatever we get on the long run, whatever success we are able to attain on the long run is going to be dependent on what people sees us to be, who people sees us to be, and how people see us, how competent people think we are. And so this becomes even more critical for those of us who have been having problems being misunderstood, or who have been misunderstood over a very long period of time, and probably for all our lives. People don't really see your true worth. Why does it happen that people don't really see what you are worth as a person? Maybe you're underestimated, or maybe you're overestimated, or people tends to place you where you don't really belong, where it is not really your niche. So nobody really knows what you are doing, nobody really knows what you are up to. And during this workshop, we are going to be opening up all of these issues, and we are going to go all the way to talk about CV, resume, and interview and all that. But for me, the aspect that is very, very critical is the profiling and the branding component of this workshop, and I want you to stay tuned. So when we talk about personal branding or personal profiling, what are we really talking about? You see, nobody knows you as much as you know yourself, and whatever anybody thinks of you is going to come from what you gave them to think, what you planted in them, right? So that is where profiling comes in. And then branding has to do with how do you brush up whatever it is that you have for people to see the true value of it, right? So let us, in this first session, go into understanding personal profiling and self-assessment. So that is the way I want us to focus in this first session. So what is personal profiling? Personal profiling is a self-evaluation process that helps individuals understand their strengths, weakness, values, and career aspirations. What personal profiling is supposed to do for you as an individual is to help you to understand as a person what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, what are your values, what are the values that you can produce or that you can bring to the table, and then what are your career aspirations, right? It serves as a foundation for personal branding, ensuring clarity in professional goals. When it comes to setting professional goals, profiling helps you to be able to bring in some level of clarity in it. Understand? Now, what are the key components of a personal profile? If you want to profile yourself, what are the things that you should look at? Number one, your identity. Who are you and what do you stand for as a person? Right? When people ask you who are you, what is your answer to that? Right? So who you are and what you stand for, what do you represent? The next is skills and expertise. What are your skills and what are your expertise? Your abilities and your areas of specialization. The next, and we'll talk about profiling, we're also talking about your values and your principles. What drives your decisions and your actions, the decisions you make and the actions you take. What are the things that drives you? And then fourthly and lastly is what your career or business goals. If you are a career employee, you want to be a career employee. What are the things? What are the goals? What are the things you want to achieve? What are your aspirations? What are your vision for the future? As they say, begin with the whole picture and the big picture in mind. So if it is business, what kind of business do you want to build? How do you want the business to become? What are your aspirations for the business? What is your vision for the business, right? Now, that is very, very critical. Next, I want us to look at some of the components of personal branding. What are some of the components of personal branding? First of all, let's identify the number one is what? Your unique value proposition, what we call your UVP, unique value proposition. Number two is what? Consistent online presence and storytelling. It is important that you maintain a level of online presence, right? Because in the digital age now, everything is online. Number three is personal and professional valuation. Personal and professional valuation. We are used to valuing businesses, valuing companies, but it's also important that we also value ourselves, and we are going to look at that. The next is networking and relationships. What are your networks, and what are the kind of networks you need? What are the kind of relationships you need? And then next is what? Authority and reputation management. What is your authority in your area, in your industry? Have you been able to establish any? And what is your reputation like? Now that is very, very critical. And then number C is what? Corporate etiquette. What is what's your level of corporate etiquette or corporate awareness? Now let's look at the first one, which is what? Your unique value proposition, UVP, unique value proposition. Now in your unique value proposition, you want to do what we call your SWOT analysis, right? You want to understand your strengths. You list your top skills, both hard and soft skills, whether they are soft or they are hard skills. You list them, right? And then next, you understand your audience. Who are the people that need you the most? Who are the people that need these services? Who are the people that need these skills? Who are the people that need your attention? So that you don't give your attention to the wrong people. You don't keep on talking to the wrong people, right? And you don't keep on relating to the wrong people. Because whether you like it or not, people are going to remain a constant factor in your effort to become successful. They are going to be a constant factor that you cannot eliminate. You're always going to need people. So you need to understand the kinds of people that you need to target. The next is find what makes you unique, right? Very, very important. What is it that makes you stand out among other people that are doing the same thing that you are doing? Remember, we are talking about your unique value proposition, right? Then the fourth thing you need to target under this unique value proposition is to define the value that you offer. What value do you offer? What are the things you can bring to the table, you can bring to the organization, you can bring to the team? You need to be able to define the value that you can offer, the benefits or results that you can provide. Very, very important. The next is craft a simple word statement. You need to be able to come up with a simple statement that what we call your UVP statement, right? Your UVP statement that states what specifically you could achieve. All of these things that were just mentioned now, your identity, your audience, the kind of people you want to relate with, the kind of people you are looking to serve, what makes you unique, all of these things, you put it all together in one sentence. Then you want to test and refine. You want to get feedback from people so that you can make improvements on your UVP statement. And then lastly is to communicate your UVP. Very, very important. You want to use every opportunity you have, every medium you have to communicate your unique value proposition. Number two is what? Consistent online presence and storytelling. This is also very, very important. If you want to really, really profile yourself, you can't really do that without an online presence. But then even more critical, because right now we can't really begin to emphasize on the issue of online presence, because almost everybody, even children coming up, knows how important it is to get online. But the thing here is consistency, right? Because many of us are not consistent, are not even intentional about our presence online, right? So it's very, very important, for you to be able to be intentional about your presence online. Your presence online is not just to socialize. Your presence online is to use those platforms, to profile yourself, to brand yourself. So you have to be intentional about it, and to do this successfully, you need to set some clear goals for yourself. What do you really want to achieve on Facebook? What do you want to achieve on WhatsApp? What do you want to achieve on Instagram? So that you don't form the bands of people that are constituting users on the social media, and then you can use it for your own good, right? And then you need to choose the right platforms. You don't have to be on all the social media platforms. Very, very important. So you want to choose the proper platform that fits what you want to do, that fits your goals, right? And then next is to create a content plan. Very, very important. Now we talk about content plan. People say, I'm not a social media, I'm not a social media manager, I'm not a content creator. Why do I need a content plan? If you want to profile yourself, because we're talking about personal profiling here, what you post on social media is very, very critical. Whatever it is you post on social media, and it is important to post on social media once in a while. It's important that you do that, which is why you need to plan what you're going to be putting out there on social media handle. So you need to plan it. Then they need to be authentic and personal. There is need for you to be authentic. If you want to profile yourself on social media, you need to be authentic. You don't need to make up anything, right? Then engage consistently. Very, very important. It is important for you to also be consistent in your engagement and ensure that the content and whatever it is that you are putting out there is consistent with your personal profiling objectives. The next is to use automation tools. Of course, you can't police yourself, and maybe sometimes you are even too busy to police yourself and say every time I want to manage my content on the social media. So you can use some automating tools. What do you call it? Your Facebook has the automating tool there that you can use to schedule your post, and then it post it for you when the time comes. So you can leverage that and even schedule a post for 3 months. All you need to do is to be able to plan what you want to post, right? Then as you progress through, you also want to stay updated and evolve as things are changing. You want to continue to change, learn new skills in your area, then collaborate with others. Very, very important. Then monitor and improve whatever it is that you are doing out there. Now, the third one is personal and professional valuation. This one is very, very critical. Your personal and professional valuation. We value companies based on the assets they have, their ability to make profit, the team that is managing them. Now, when it comes to personal valuation, you need to decide how much you are worth as a person, right? You need to be able to know as a person what pay can you take, what pay can you not take. You need to be able to decide that the quality of services that you render, what is it worth? So you need to put a price on yourself, and you need to put a price on your profession. Very, very critical. You need to put a price on yourself, and then you need to put a price on your profession. So, and to do this effectively, that there are 4 things that you want to consider. Number 1 is your intellectual capacity. What is your intellectual capacity? Number 2 is your core competence. What are your core competencies? If somebody employs you, what are the competencies that you are bringing to the table? Then next is your competence level. What is the level of your competence? Because if your competence level is low, it means that you cannot place a high valuation on yourself, right? The next is what your income generating assets. What are the assets that you have that can help you generate income? Now that is also very, very critical, right? The next is networking and relationships. You want to set networking and relationship is very, very critical, because like I mentioned earlier, people are always going to be a very, very critical component of what we do on our way to success, right? So we want to network and build relationships with the right people, right? And to do this successfully too, you need to set clear goals. You need to attend some industry events, the events that happens within your industry or within your profession. You want to be part of it, attend workshops, attend seminars, you want to leverage social media to connect with people within your field. If you're into fashion design, you need to be following the top 10 fashion designers within your country or within your domain, or even in the world. You understand? If you're in the energy sector, you want to follow the top 10 energy, the big wigs in that industry. If you're in the banking industry, whatever industry you find yourself, look for the big guys in that industry. There is need for you to follow them on social media. Then join professional groups, prepare an elevator speech. We are going to look at an elevator speech maybe in the second part of this workshop. And then you also want to look at you want to offer value first. Very, very important. As you want to connect with people, because we're talking about networking and building relationships here. You want to offer value to people first. Let people see you for your value. People shouldn't see you for the relationship that you have with them. People shouldn't just see you because you are around. People should see you for the value that you can bring to the table, right? This is the only way you can earn a proper respect. Then you want to follow up on these people, and then you want to nurture the relationship. You want to be consistent, and then it's also important that you seek mentorship. Then number 5 element of personal profiling we are talking about is what? Authenticity and reputation management. Very, very critical. It's important that you build authenticity. The authenticity you build, your sense of character is going to help you build a reputation. Now, that reputation can be damaged, so it is important for you to also manage that reputation. And to do this successfully, you want to be genuine. It is important to be very, very genuine. Share personal stories, communicate clearly. Admit mistakes. If you made a mistake, it's okay to admit it. It doesn't pay you to insist that you're always right all the time. It's okay to admit that you made a mistake, right? And the next is to stay consistent, engage authentically, and then monitor online presence, respond professionally to people. When you want to respond to people, don't be too casual. It's important to be very, very professional in whatever response and whatever way you relate to people. So you want to build a positive brand, very, very important. Then network wisely, handle criticism well. If you are criticized, it's important that you're able to navigate that and manage it very, very well. Then, like we have always mentioned, there is need for you to stay updated. Then the next is what? Corporate etiquette. It is important for you to have some corporate etiquette, right? Very, very critical. Now, it's important to be punctual, dress appropriately, respect others' time, don't keep people waiting for you. Very, very important. Maintain professional communication, listening actively, respect personal space. Give people their spaces. Don't always be overbearing on people. Allow people to do their things while you do your things. Then the next I want to mention here is for you to follow up meeting protocols. If you're within a meeting setting, you go for a meeting, it's important for you to maintain that the protocol of that meeting. Then acknowledge contributions. If somebody has contributed to you, please acknowledge them, respect them for it, appreciate them for it. Then be mindful of the office culture. If you find yourself within an office space, it is important that you are mindful of the culture within that space. Then handle conflict discreetly. If you have a problem with somebody, don't go and blow it up. A few days ago, I was having a discussion with somebody where I was, talking about the need to be discreet with conflict. If somebody reports somebody to you, it's not necessary to go and call the whole community and say you want to address that conflict, right? It's 2 people involved, keep it with 2. If it's 1 person involved, keep it to 1. It's important that be able to manage such crisis situations very, very discreetly, right? Now, let's look at how you can craft a personal. Okay, I mentioned about self-assessment earlier, which I also say the easiest way to do your self-assessment is to do what we call your SWOT analysis. Your SWOT analysis assesses your strengths, your weaknesses, and your opportunities and threats, right? Now, crafting a personal statement, crafting your UVP statement. Your personal statement should highlight your strengths, your values, and your goals. A strong personal statement will include the following: a brief introduction of who you are, your skills and your expertise, your career or business goals, a unique value proposition, and these things put together will help you to come up with a brief statement about yourself. On your WhatsApp status or your WhatsApp profile or your Facebook profile, these are the statements that we want to see. For example, if I'm a digital marketer or I'm into digital marketing, I may have a UVP statement that says something like I'm a result-driven digital marketing strategist with expertise in social media management and content creation, passionate about helping brands build online visibility. I aim to empower businesses with innovative digital marketing solutions, right? So you see how precise and how concise it is. So thank you very much for participating in this session. just the first session of the personal branding and profiling workshop. See you in the next session. Don't forget to drop your questions in the comment section. We will attend to your questions. Thank you very much. See you in the next session.